It's such a great movie because everybody has a what if in their life. And they probably have more than just one what if in their life. It's a wonderful story. It's a wonderful story about redemption. It's a wonderful story about a second chance showing that your life can be better.
Always an honor, Kevin. Love chatting with you. Cool to get to talk about this film 15 years ago. Man, that's
Ah,
really cool. So let's jump into this. What If is coming out in theaters for 2 days, August the 5th and the 7th.
yep.
Um, my first question I want to ask you, the film explores the concept of, we'll call it, I kind of call it this like divine do-over, kind of like this that you get to do. How did you portray the idea of doing this? How did that impact your faith when you filmed this?
Well, I've always been a perfect with faith, hardly perfect in any way as a human being, but Dallas gave me the script to read, fell in love with it, and we just dove into it. Initially, he just wanted my ideas on it because he had other actors he was looking at, and I said, "Well, I'm playing Pastor Ben." He goes, "Man, I can't afford you. This is a really low budget movie." And I said, "I don't care." I said, "Pay me." It was a SAG film, ultra low budget SAG. I said, "Pay me whatever ultra low budget SAG is for any actor on that film. I don't care. I got to do this movie." And it's such a great movie because everybody has a what if in their life, and they probably have more than just one what if in their life. I look at life, I remember there's a great term in economics called opportunity cost. Well, life is an
Mm,
opportunity cost. Depends on when you're driving, there are many roads you can probably take. And maybe if you took that road, there would have been an accident. Maybe you take this road, you would have met somebody that inspired your life. You never ever know. So to me, this was a chance for this guy to see what his life should have been like. But he goes kicking and
mm,
screaming because the reality is he likes the road he's on. That's what makes this a sort of opposite. It's a Wonderful Life. But he has no choice when he's visited by an angel in the form of John Ratzenberger, and he says, "No, you got free will, but you have to see this, and you have to put effort into this before you can make that choice." But you've been given a
yeah,
gift from God, and it takes him a long time to finally sort of put his arms around it and say, "Okay, this is where I'm at. I'll go through the motion." But it's a wonderful story. It's a wonderful story about redemption. It's a wonderful story about a second chance, showing that your life can be better instead of being,
mm,
so much hate and anger out there. So much. I think a lot of this hate comes from people that unhappy with their lives. They're unhappy with their relationships. They're unhappy with their jobs. These are the ones that come on the internet and attack you and attack me. And we got to pray for people like this because these people are lost souls.
mm, mm.
Every day they wake up, they're angry. And what a horrible way to live your life. And these people live their life that way. I think this is a movie that shows you no matter where you are in your life, you can turn it around and it's up to you.
Yeah,
Don't blame God or then your neighbors or your wife or your husband or whoever. Don't blame the world for your problems. Look in the mirror and say, "You know what? I'm going to change this. I'm going to do something about that." You can cue in the Michael Jackson song "Man in the Mirror." Maybe that's what you need to listen to. But that's where
yeah,
it starts. That's where you got to make a difference in your life and stop blaming everybody else for your failure in life. We all have failures. We all have roadblocks. How do you want to react to that is really up to you. But if you want
yeah,
to spend your whole life being angry about it, then you're going to bring a lot more disappointment in your life, physically, mentally, all kinds of bad things are going to happen to you. Get over it. Work out. I'm a big believer still in working out, and I'm an old dude now, but I worked out way before I got my Hercules series. So stretch, do yoga, do meditation, breathing, get out there and be positive. Because if you're negative, that's all you're going to have in your life is negativity.
yeah. And it's such a, like you said, that second opportunity, which is what we have in Jesus. Jesus has given us that.
Of course.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, a little personal question. Don't get yourself in trouble. But if you could have one do-over, right? Like, oh man, and I'm sure, like you say, there's a bunch that we could pull out. But if there was one in your life that comes to your mind right now, what would it be?
Um, oh gosh. To be selfish, I'd like a do-over on a sitcom I did for ABC back in 2005. Even though it tested number one for them and they didn't pick it up, which is still probably the biggest disappointment in my professional life ever. It's a half-hour comedy called Bobby Cannon. You can go online and check it out.
Okay.
It's written by Barry Kemp, and it's a phenomenal half-hour sitcom. It's got Kate Walsh in it. It's got Rocky Carroll in it, and it's about a quarterback at the end of his career with the Chicago Bears. And we drafted a 21-year-old stud kid out of Texas A&M. I realize my days are numbered. It is a wonderful, funny, touching half-hour sitcom from Barry Kemp, who created Coach, with Craig T. Nelson. He created
Mhm.
Norm Macdonald show. He created Newhart, and just a great writer. And it tested number one, and they didn't pick it up. But I think if I had done something a little more different within that sitcom, but maybe it would have got picked up. I'm not blaming me for not getting picked up, but I think there's something I could have made it get picked up. So that is just from a professional standpoint. From a personal standpoint, I wish that I would have not gone to college. I don't think I needed
Mm,
college. I had a double business major, but I think from a professional standpoint, I should have dove into acting earlier in my life than I did. And I think that would have made a difference just in the path I went. Because I've always been a Christian, not perfect in any such way, but I've always been a Christian. I've always had my beliefs. I grew up in a Christian home. My parents are awesome. My mom's still alive. My dad passed 12 years ago, but he was my best friend. He's the best man at my wedding. I miss him every day. But they taught me a lot. They taught me a
mm.
lot about all five of us kids, about working hard, not expect handouts, push, push, push. So I guess I wish I would have had a bigger voice, and I'm doing it now, but I wish I had a bigger voice back then about being more positive to other people and maybe helping them out to not be afraid of failure, because failure is a good thing. I learned early in
That's
life that
good.
failure is a good thing. And that was taught to me, but not only my parents, but by other people I met along the way through my college years.
That's really good. Thank you for sharing that. That's huge. Your character wrestles in this film. Your character wrestles with the cost of success versus the life of significance, kind of like you shared earlier.
Sure.
What message do you hope that viewers take away from again revisiting Vin Walker's journey?
I think the biggest thing is I hope the takeaway is things that are missing in the world right now. That there is redemption out there, that there is hope out there. I think a lot of people are looking for hope. They just don't know how to look for it.
Yeah,
And that answer to hope is found through redemption, as far as I'm concerned, through Jesus Christ. Talk about the ultimate way to have second chances at life. There's just, to me, the negativity is just amazing to me. The attacks on the internet are just amazing to me. And we got to pray for these people that have lost everything. And I talk about what's all their hope. There's so many chances out there to redeem yourself. There's so many chances out there to make your life better. I think I think one of the biggest things that helped me in my life, and of all people, and I'm a big fan of him. I've only met him one time in my life. He was very nice to me. He was Tom Cruise. Now, I'm not a
mm,
Scientologist in any way, but he said to me, he said, get rid of negative people in your life. Get rid. And I knew there's people that were jealous of me that I thought were my friends because I was always working. I was very fortunate. I never had to work another job in Hollywood. I worked very well commercially, and I was getting guest spots here and there. I got into the right acting classes because one thing my dad said, whatever makes you nervous, if you're pursuing something in your road and you're nervous about going down this road, he said, don't be afraid, just go after that thing. So I found out who were the toughest teachers, acting coaches, to get into. Oh, they're tough. You got to go through stages. Those are the guys I went after. I wanted to go after the ones that were tougher to get into because they're the ones who pushed you harder. And my
hmm.
craft was acting. I had a double business major, advertising and marketing, and that's what I did. I'm my own product. So I advertised and marketed myself. And I worked very hard to bug my agents all the time. I remember one agent telling me, because I found out about a role through other buddy of mine. He said, hey, I'm right for that part. Let me read for it. Kevin, I got 100 other actors. And I said, they don't care about me. Do you think they care about me? Said, let me have the chance to be rejected. That was my offer. I'll
Oh, that's
drive
good.
it. I'll drive that stupid 16 hours in LA traffic. That's going to take me 2 hours and then wait an hour in line to meet a casting director that doesn't want you to have the job anyway. But I
Yeah.
said, let me do this. Let me get on there and get the chance to be rejected. So I got rid of the negative people in my life once I kept working because they were always, they said, I talk about my back. I'm going, guys, what have I done? I thought I was a friend of yours, you know? But jealousy breeds a lot of contempt. And I just moved on and got rid of those people. And it was huge. So I helped my career to keep on going.
That's good. As we close here, last question. This was, if I remember, I was looking at some of your stuff that you had done. This is like one of the first, if not the first, like faith movies that you kind of did, that you kind of took on. If at least in that of like, oh, this is kind of a faith driven. You've done a lot since then,
Yeah.
and kind of used that. How did this one kind of did this one kind of propel some of that and some of your like choosing at all? I was wondering
Well,
that.
the first one I really did was called Avenging Angel. And I
Yes.
play a pastor. It was a Hallmark movie that did very well. In fact, at the time it was their number one Western of all time. They made DVDs out of it.
Hmm.
And I love doing that. It was a blast. It was a great movie, great story. David Cass, who's passed away, directed it. He was so great to work with. But there's no doubt What If was the one that made me, I go, you know what? I want to do more of these. Because every movie is a faith-based movie. If you're an atheist and you believe in nothing, that's an amazingly strong faith. That you
Yes.
believe that there's nothing. It's sad, but I mean, that's the greatest thing the devil did. He made people think he didn't exist when certainly he
Right.
does. Evil is all around, and we see it in a totally. I mean, look, when COVID hit around, look what they did during COVID. They used fear, which is the devil's favorite weapon to control
Yeah.
people's lives.
Yeah.
And I've told people, I said, most things we worry about in life never happen. So that wasted worry gave you ulcers that wrecked up you got diarrhea, you got sick.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's such a waste of time. But what if, and then of course, God's Not Dead after that,
Yeah.
which exploded. Chuck and Kerry were the writers of both those. And I've told those guys, I've told many times to people in interviews, I'm telling you now, what if in my book is much better than God's Not Dead? So that's why I'm grateful for the Second Chances movie. Because yeah, it's 15 years old, but it hasn't aged at all. The story
Yeah.
is still there. The quality of it is just as good as anything that's coming in theaters right now. So I hope people, it's August 5th and August 7th. So go to fathomentertainment.com or go to What If on Facebook, and everything will be there, all the information, and get these tickets. Because I guarantee you, if we fill up all these theaters in those 2 days, it will
Yeah.
get more days.
That's right.
That's the only way we'll do it if people wake up. I need pastors. I need priests. I need everybody to tell their congregation to support these movies. We don't have a $200 million advertising budget like they do for the next Avengers or Pirates movie. We need God's Not Dead was a success due to people's word of mouth, and that's what we need.
Right. I love it. Thank you so much, Kevin. Always an honor. Appreciate you, brother.